Dangin Nira, Yosin uframevna, nen hukararunin odeha. Lesson 15. The Subjunctive Mood. Up till now, all our sentences have been about facts. What has happened, what is happening, what always happens, and what we are reasonably sure will happen. The verbs that express facts are said to be in the indicative mood. But sometimes we want to talk about other things, things that might happen, or could happen, or that we doubt will ever happen, or that we think should happen. To express all this, we need to use another mood called the subjunctive. Now, while in the indicative mood we have so far learned 8 different tenses, and we will be learning more, the subjunctive only has 4. Let's go through them one by one. First, we have the subjunctive active present, indicated by the tense marker urneu. Let's conjugate the verb hirkoi, to go. Hirkurneus, I might go. Hirkurneu, you might go. Hirkurneuk, he, she, or it might go. And hirkurneuser, one might go. Note that this can apply to both present and future hypothetical situations. For example, Sven hirkurneus atisit selfa would mean, I might be going into the city right now. Whereas, hirkurneus atisit selfa mepfaskin folma would mean, I might go into the city tomorrow. Whether it is a present or future possibility depends on context. This can also be used for weather predictions that you're not quite sure about. For example, difrurneuser mepfaskin nihapa would mean, it might snow next week. And nen loma reprelturneuk mepfaskin boga would mean, it might be sunny tomorrow morning. Next we have the subjunctive active past, indicated by uldeu. Let's conjugate the verb ginoi, to come. Ginuldeus, I might have come. Ginuldeuk, you might have come. Ginuldeuk, he, she, or it might have come. And ginuldeuser, one might have come. For example, if we define sloi as to say or tell, and ops as the preposition at, then ginuldeuk apsit min humnaka, zov getsletek merg, sket ginitek him ged ginitek, would mean, he might have come to your house, but he didn't tell me whether he did or not. Notice how in English the at is implied in that sentence, but in Dangin Nira it must be expressly stated. Compare these two sentences. Semeros absnenso purka, I'm standing at the building, at its location. Kelos absit nenso purka, I'm running to the building, to its location. Next, we have the subjunctive passive present, indicated by ageu. Let's conjugate howonoi, to massage. Howonageus, I might be massaged. Howonageum, you might be massaged. Howonageuk, he, she, or it might be massaged. And howonageuser, one might be massaged. For example, Arteg beetes tamiglusumerg eblaske, howonageus mebieta mindusa, would mean, because I gave some cookies to that woman, I might be massaged this evening. Finally, we have the subjunctive passive past, indicated by almeu. Let's conjugate Brketkoi, to annoy. Brketkalmeus, I might have been annoyed. Brketkalmeum, you might have been annoyed. Brketkalmeuk, he, she, or it might have been annoyed. And Brketkalmeuser, one might have been annoyed. For example, Tamin selfaskudokra Brketkalmeuk tasme, akaz zonom kumezoi serg, would mean, that police officer might have been annoyed by you, therefore you should apologize to him. Notice that with kumezoi, to apologize, the thing you're apologizing about is in the accusative, and the person you're apologizing to is in the dative. One of the best uses of the subjunctive is for conditional statements, if-then sentences. In Dangin Nira, rov is if, and natul is then. You follow each word with the subjunctive phrase. For example, Rov tsukelorneum damantorx nunange, natul beorneus merk pukne would be, if you gently hold my baby, then I'll give you a cat. Let's define 4 more words. Syarvoi, to sing. Suralin, beautiful. Dukloi, to buy. Here the thing bought is accusative, and the person you're buying it for is dative. And Sulusra, orange, the fruit. Let's now take another conditional example. Rov nemheprisa syarvul deuk suralorg, natul duklul deus kerk sulusre would mean, if the boy had sung beautifully, then I would have bought him an orange. One final topic, the word keet. Some verbs don't just take objects or prepositional phrases, they have to take whole new sentences. Keet connects that whole sentence to the verb, and is usually translated as that. Most often, the whole sentence after keet is in the subjunctive. Modals require keet when the want or like or hate is about an action done by someone else. For example, hastitos keet beurneum serglaske would mean, I want you to give me a cookie. There is also the word hdonoi, to permit, which is an odd modal. It is usually used in the passive followed by an infinitive. For example, Hdonoas ekroi sulusre, I am permitted to eat oranges. But in the active it requires keet. For example, Hdonos keet nenhaken takra varm kurneuk me, I permit that the warrior may kill you. One of the few instances where keet is followed by the indicative is with fuvoi. For example, Fuvos keet toldetem nen hepsume gungolev would mean, I know that you struck the girl with a rock. Another instance is Gomeoi, to think, which can be followed by the indicative or the subjunctive. When followed by the indicative, you're certain of what you think. For example, Gomeos kitnen vodera muhuk tupin, I think that the ocean is big. If you're not certain of what you think, or if you doubt what someone else thinks, you use the subjunctive. For example, Gomeom kit zuska winurneuk sudoi, you think that fish can fly. That's enough for now. You've learned how to make your conversation suitably complex with the new subjunctive tenses, conditional statements, and the use of the word keet. Review this new vocabulary and make sure you know all the new tenses by conjugating these 2 new verbs, Noromoi, to praise, and Simsoi, to push, in the 4 subjunctive tenses. Then you may move on to the next video.